Welcome to us going into the past. We are getting the time machine set to week ago Monday. Of course, All-Star game was still a couple days away. All-Star Skills Challenge was still about 24 hours away. We still
We-
had hopes that Lionel Messi might be there, but but that was kind of dashed in this panel, as you're going to hear. Pretty funny revelations here that kind of came to pass. So yeah, this is the second of five podcasts that we're dropping this week, taking the Night Live panels that we did and putting them into bite-sized chunks for y'all. And this one was the National Pundit panel. Of course, as Moises has mentioned earlier, there were theoretical belts on the line, metaphorical belts, I don't know, some sort of belts, asteroid belts.
Thanks again to our friends at We Are Austin TV who helped promote and put on the event. Richie from Otra Por Favor, without whom you wouldn't be hearing any of these recordings. If you see Richie, buy him a beer. I'm buying him a case, for the record, for coming in clutch and saving our bacon and being there for us. And also our sponsors for the event, Crystal Air Austin and CMM Plumbing, who provided the Liga MX and MLS All-Star jerseys that we gave away during the event. Phil, tell us about these national pundits who joined us. Tell us about Charlie Joe and John.
It's a chance to bring three great minds covering soccer in kind of various publications. Of course, we had Charles Boehm, who has been writing with MLS Soccer for a long time, has done really great features. He's featured some Austin folks along the way. So he was in town, got to get him up. Joe Lowery, of course, who you probably know from the Total Soccer Show and or Backheeled, which is the publication that he started a few years back. And as we know, it's very, very tough to keep a soccer publication going. God bless him. He has done it. Independent, great analysis, good writing. I've gotten to do a little cameo from time to time there. They do really good work. Definitely, as you are sprinkling your soccer subscription dollars around, you should give Backheeled a look. And John Muller, who has been writing for The Athletic, and now he is working on an app called Futi, Futi, which is going to be really nice for all the nerds that like visualizations and like their stats delivered with graphics. That is coming, I believe, any day now. So just make sure that you are following on Substack. All these folks, I believe, are on Substack, but especially if you want that kind of techie goodness, John is working on that and it's letting people know when that's going to actually come to life and you're going to get to see all the prettiness.
So, not to spoil anything about the National Pundit Regional Hot Take Challenge Cup that will be fought over at the end of this recording. What was fun for you in moderating this conversation, in having fun with these guys that you already know so well?
Well, I mean, talking about Messi, because we were all kind of suspecting, oh, maybe he wouldn't show up. So that's something that was fun to do. They really deeply know their soccer, and it's really fun to just talk tactics or personalities with them. And that really did shine through, I think, in this particular panel.
All right. Well, I guess without further ado, let's hit the music and take it off to the races.
Emergency podcast. Better did a thing, so we gotta talk about it. Emergency podcast. It's an emergency. Emergency podcast. Shut up, hell yeah, shut up, hell yeah, shut up. Emergency podcast. It's an emergency.
Starting with John, and just want to talk a little bit about your endeavors, because you all come at American soccer from different places. You've all written obviously about it, but different perspectives, different approaches to how to cover the game and serve the fans and all that. So John, we'll start with you. Yeah, just want to know what you're doing, and then maybe just one thing in 2025 so far that you've been really proud about in terms of just the work that you've done, articles, things like that, whatnot. You can certainly pander to all Smiths fans if you want, but you cover all the teams. You know, you love all the children equally, I'm sure, right? So, all right, John, go ahead.
There we go. So first of all, I kind of am a fraud because I'm from Austin. I live in Austin. So I don't deserve to be on this national weather panel, but I used to cover European soccer for The Athletic. I wrote a lot of tactics and analytics focused stuff for them for years. I've written for 538. Most recently, I've written for The Guardian about MLS. So I've been an MLS guy as well as a European soccer guy for a long time. But for the last year, I've been building a new soccer app that's about to come out. It's called Futi, F-U-T-I. And the idea with that is we take pro-quality club analytics and we put them in a live score app that's built for fans. So if you guys use FotMob or SofaScore or whatever like that, and you wish that, instead of fake ratings, it had real club quality analytics, Futi is going to be the app for you. It'll be out very soon. So I'm here to talk about that as well as what I know.
And then I saw you at the Nerd Conference in January as well.
That's right, yeah. Phil and I were at Soccer Insights, which is a new conference that they're doing in Houston. Nice. Yeah, it was a lot of
Yeah, it was a lot of fun. We learned about the Jack Buchanan trade in real time.
Yeah.
Pat Onstad.
I think I asked Pat Onstad who they were trading for that day. Then came out.
Yeah, it came with that, and then I texted Tom, and I was like, hey, you heard anything about this?
Might be the one time I almost scooped Tom.
All right, Joe, let's hear your story.
Yeah, I'd already forgotten the question. I'm Joe Lowery. I write about soccer for Backheeled and do a lot of work for other outlets as well. ESPN, MLS, The Guardian when Alex lets me. The thing that I'm proud of from 2025, I think it's pretty clear I've written the second best article about Minnesota United's throw-ins. John wrote the best one. Me and Ben Bellman wrote the second best one. We'll take the small ones when we can get them.
I drew a lot on Backheeled for that one, yeah. You guys did a great job. I'm just glad that we've got this joint propaganda campaign to make everybody in MLS throw the ball into the box. And Austin, to their credit, has been doing this for a long time. Nick Lima did it. Sadly, he's gone.
Yeah, trendsetters. We're on a mission, certainly, to play smarter soccer, which is also the worst possible soccer to watch, with as long stoppages as possible, because we all know that's what we love about this sport.
We're just here to run the game.
Yeah, one step at a time. So, no, it's been a blast. I love covering this league. I'm very fortunate to get to do this for a living, and it's weird that you all are here to listen to me, because I'm a regular person. I'm done.
One sec. Hey, I'm Charlie Boehm. I've covered MLS and North American soccer for a decade or two. I've been around different publications. Right now, most of my work is on MLSsoccer.com. The Death Star, the mothership, the corporate entity. But
You've been there longer.
they let me,
Yeah. For a while.
You were, indeed. And this is homecoming for me because I'm a native Texan. I went to school up the road at Southwestern University. Go Bucks, proud pirate, and lived in Austin for a little while before I went and did other stuff. But it's such a joy to just see this. When I lived in Austin, we had the Austin Posse, Austin Lone Stars. This felt like at least like a wasteland for anything resembling professional soccer. And if you told me that not just in my lifetime, but just not that long after, that it would become a hotbed and one of the, let's say it, model markets for Major League Soccer, I would never have believed you. So what you guys have built here in a very short amount of time is really impressive. The big challenge though now, I gotta say, is continuing it, right? It's great when it's the new thing and it's the flavor of the month. And the challenge you guys have, and I know you're up to it, is making it last and keeping it real through the lean years. And unfortunately, there's been maybe more lean years than fat ones here, but I think that's the sign of a great market and great fans. And so it's a pleasure to be here, and let's talk some more ball, I guess.
Thank you, yeah. Favorite piece of yours from the show?
Oh, yes. Oh, good question. I wish I could pander and say that I've written something great about Austin, but I'm super proud of some of the stuff I've done in past years about Austin FC. But this year, I'll say I think what I'm best at and the best I can offer to the community is I try to tell players' stories and get past maybe what they're used to saying on a week-to-week basis and try and get players and coaches and other people in our game to open up. And so I've been lucky that a number of people in the game trust me with their stories. I wrote one about Marco Royce not too long ago, and I'm just always trying to give the people who think the game and live the game and are true sickos like a little something meatier to dig into it. So that's my goal.
Nice. All right. So let's talk about the season. What has surprised you most about the season so far?
Vancouver being good is probably high on the list. I didn't have that on the bingo card. There's a lot of teams this year that have been good that I didn't expect to be good. Maybe the two smart gentlemen next to me did. Philly being as good as they are, I thought they would be better than most other people thought they would, but I think that meant having them as a fringe playoff team, so I was wrong about that. San Diego being amazing, I thought they'd be pretty good. They've been better than that. And Nashville is the other one. I thought Nashville would be just straight up bad this year, and they're not. They're really good. So some of those teams.
Yeah, I thought Philly was going to be straight up bad. I actually wrote an American Soccer Analysis preview, which kind of said as much. And then I didn't figure out Ty Baraba.
So everybody knows all you have to do to be a great MLS team is hire a former U.S. men's national team assistant coach.
Yeah.
Right? That's all. That's the shortcut. This is great.
Really, can you do an hot take one?
What? No? No?
Yeah, that's legit. Okay. I wasn't surprised by Philly. I think they're getting back to their roots. Like, their model has been proven for a long time. And it made sense to me that was going to work. I was very surprised that BJ Callahan was able to turn Nashville around as quickly as he was with the squad that was built for the worst possible soccer in MLS and like make them play real sense. They've been a great surprise. Yeah, as recently as last week, we were going to the Sam Surridge just scored more goals than all of Austin FC. But I thought Austin holding of the lead with that big 2-goal show. No, wait. Still? Okay.
And then I'm surprised that Atlanta United have been so bad. They are incredibly, resoundingly, persistently bad, despite having done whatever. Everybody wants their team to spend money every transfer window, right? And you spend money like that and show ambition like that. It's I don't think anybody expected. I didn't know how good they would be, but for them to be this poor is just shocking.
Yeah, perplexingly bad, I think, is the way I would put it. It's been strange.
Gotta get runners for Alexi whenever you can. Gotta get runners for Alexi. Wrong A city for that, but we got that.
I gotta say though, it is fortunate that Atlanta are as bad as they are because Austin's spending $30 million on their attack and not really getting better at attack. Like, that would be a headline if Atlanta weren't so bad.
Tough crowd, John. Tough crowd.
Yeah, but we're 2 wins from an Open Cup too, so gotta keep that in mind.
That's the bright side of it.
Yeah, that's right. You gotta be optimistic here. What were you most right about, Joe? I think I know yours. But...
I think you're leading into San Diego.
Yeah.
I don't know that I can fully claim it because there are predictions out there where I have them like 7th in the West. I mean, I was more right about San Diego than other people who are foolish enough to put their names on MLS predictions. But I still wasn't like that right about them in general. I think there's something to be said for seeing and appreciating the continuity. I know John's an anti-LAFC guy. I think seeing what, and that plays well with the crowd, by the way, I would assume. I think seeing what LAFC and Seattle have done in terms of keeping really reliable MLS quality players, not just going and finding MLS experience for the sake of it, but players that are actual useful players in this league, and building teams that are as deep as they are, and LAFC continuing to add players and all those things. Maybe relying on those players. I'm wrong about MLS far more than I'm right about it.
Well, you write so much about it, though, right? So when you write that much about the league, you're going to be wrong about some things. That's just kind of the way that's.
Sorry, a San Diego one. I was on the Understryer train early, like preseason early. Didn't think the rest of the team would be as cohesive as they are, but that dude would be MVP if Messi wasn't here. He's legit.
And then you took.
So what was that right about?
Yeah.
Well, predictions are a fool's game in MLS, and once I found my name on a laminated Josh Wolf memo. I vowed that I was going to have to get paid for predictions. So when the editors come around and say, "Hey man, we need a few more people for predictions," those are the emails I don't respond to. So I try to stay out of those. It's a very difficult league to predict. I do feel pretty vindicated. The ongoing stratospheric rise of Diego Luna. I can be smug about having spotted that kid on the rise, and he had the biggest crowd at Media Day, at the media event earlier today, and it's just so inspiring to see a kid take their opportunity and then keep taking opportunity and give this league and now the national team a sort of energy and show a side of our country and our soccer culture that is not always at the fore. So I think that's pretty exciting. And then the ongoing excellence of the Columbus Crew for me is one of the best stories in MLS. And I'm just a huge Wilfred Nancy stan, and I think it's great that we have teams, not just Columbus, but San Diego. You can put a few teams in this bucket. There's teams week in, week out that are playing proactive soccer that I think you can justifiably charge admission for. And that's not always been the case.
Going back to the laminating for a second. I gotta tell you, so that Halloween at my daughter's school, they do a trunk or treat. I was Josh Werewolf. And I had a laminated thing with like everybody's name spookified. I think we were Charles Boehm. So, yeah.
Great, thank you.
That's a thing I know. Yeah. So did we get your opinion right about? So let's see, I think I was a little more bullish on Philly and San Diego than most people. I was bearish on Miami and LAFC, which is a very hot take. And they've turned out to be fine. They're fine. I can't write that more now. But I will say, I think I was the one looking at Atlanta's roster build and saying, these pieces don't make sense together. That Miguel Almiron was not going to live up to the fee, that Ronnie Dialogue was not a great coach. I think that was one of the ones.
It's a super negative formulation from John. Like I'm playing the deep cuts. Yeah, that's true. John was anti-Almiron, feed, and Alexi, and all that stuff. Totally.
All the good vibes from 2017, 2018, right? So
Can't put those in the bottle, though, I guess.
Turns out that was just all Tito Vial. That's what he thinks.
But mostly I agree with Charlie. Like, predictions in MLS are just a crapshoot.
Yeah, they're tough. Yeah, that's why I don't do them anymore. All right, are we going to see Messi tomorrow?
Hold on. Come on, man.
Tomorrow, no.
Well,
Wednesday,
Wednesday, yeah.
Probably also no.
Probably also no. But I mean, like out on the field, like theoretically, he's got.
I would prefer to see him tomorrow at the All-Star Skills Challenge. Like, that would be great TV. That's what I want to see.
If anybody has a helicopter manifest connection, if you have access to helicopter traffic in the Austin metro area, we've been wondering if he's going to land, if the helicopter land on the pitch, like in maybe pregame warm-ups, something to that effect. I think it's going to be one of the Elvis has left the building, Elvis has entered the building kind of thing if he shows.
Yeah, I'm sure it didn't escape your attention that Garber has put his press conference to the last possible moment. It's like Wednesday at 6:30.
Yeah, I think it was like that last year too, in a weird way. But yeah, I've been hoping for many reasons that Messi will be here this week, and I don't know if that's going to happen or not. I think it's maybe a bit telling that he's not on any of the promotional materials. We'll see. I've never seen Messi play in person before. Maybe there are others out there that are in the same spot. And it just seems to me that the most pure way I could see Lionel Messi for the first time is for 12 minutes at an MLS All-Star game. So I need that to happen for me, and I'm worried it's not going to happen.
I saw him in the most depressing package possible, which was Argentina 4, USA nothing, where US couldn't clear the ball past midfield. That was not a good game with the US perspective.
Yeah, I said I want to see Messi at the All-Star Skills Challenge. Specifically, I want to see him do goalie leaders. That would be
Ski ball for me. I want to see it's a giant ski ball. All right. So thinking about the World Cup coming here next year and all that, how do you think that that's going to move MLS forward? Obviously, the last time the World Cup was here in '94, that was the gateway for MLS to start in '96. We had the fun uniforms, which are now back in some form and fashion with the retro stuff over the last week. Minnesota killed it. Seattle's is pretty great too, soccer World Cup. But just thinking about it, I mean, again, there's this kind of thought about maybe a fall to spring calendar and maybe missing the opportunity there. Maybe that'll come last minute. But just wondering what you think this go around will do in terms of just kind of growth of the sport and fan interest and all that.
That's a big one. I would say it's not sexy, and I wish I had something sexier to say at this moment, but
Say something sexier.
Major League Soccer has gotten to this point with a long-term mindset and a constant almost obsession with risk management and minimizing financial exposure. And I think I'm sure many people in this room would disagree with it and argue for a new phase or a new era being nigh, but I think we see over and over again, it's now a big enough organization with a process by which changes are made that there's a process. You have to win over a critical mass of owners at the board of directors level to make fundamental changes, and there's always a tendency towards conservatism there. So everything is consensus driven. And so I think we're going to see, as much as maybe the sickos would love to see a great leap forward, I think it's going to be graduated steps, as always.
Okay.
I would echo a lot of that just because the proof's in the pudding so far, right? There haven't been many changes that have been made to the structure. There have been small incremental changes to the roster rules that I think have legitimately made the league better. I think it's better to watch. I think it's more interesting now than it ever has been before. But we're still waiting for that jump. If it's going to come, Jorge Mas is talking about, he still expects the calendar switch. It's still sort of my loose, uninformed expectation. But I think there's a real argument to be made that if you wanted to do that in a way that would have the most impact for the World Cup, it could have been done already, right?
Yeah.
So not that there are challenges there. I think there are a ton of downsides of doing that as well, in addition to the upsides that you get from the transfer market and things of that nature. The way it's been described to me by people that are smarter than me is if the '94 World Cup was about the top of the funnel, was about was about like the very big picture, like hot, sexy teams, changes, leagues. We have this now at the very, very top of the game. Then the '26 World Cup is going to be about participation, which sort of fits along with what you're saying, Charlie, of it's not the most attractive things, right? You know, we'd rather read articles about Atlanta United transfer flops for $30 million than youth soccer participation being on the rise. But I do think that is probably going to be the biggest and most lasting impact of the World Cup. And it'll have something to do with MLS, but it'll also have something to do with all the other stakeholders in the game.
I have nothing smart to add here. I have no idea what's going to happen.
Yeah, just more eyes on Futi, right?
That's right. Don't want Futi. FUTI.
Are you going to be doing any kind of World Cup stuff with that, or is that?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. We will be the act if you want to have the World Cup.
Okay, good deal. Good to hear. What is one thing that you would change about MLS if you had magic wand, commissioner powers, and any one thing that you could change about the league?
Well, I'll go. I got one off the dome.
Okay.
I would just take over FIFA for a day and just evaporate the international window that's right in the middle of the playoffs. That is the biggest momentum killer. Say what you want to say. This is my hot take. I think the best of 3 playoff series thing is actually fun. I like it. The American sports fan. That's fine. That's fine. I'm getting the people engaged, Phil. You're welcome. I think the best of 3 things fun. I think it builds good narratives. I think it builds good rivalries. I enjoy that. Either way, even without that, there can still be this giant break in the middle of the playoffs. It's not good. It makes things less engaging. I would ditch that.
And it's usually timed right around my birthday, which sucks, because I like MLS playoffs around my birthday. So.
They're not considering you, Phil, and that's really
I know. So thank you, Joe. Thank you for that. Okay, good. John.
Yeah, just accessibility, man. Just make the game more available to everybody, right? Make tickets cheaper. When Messi goes to, like, put them in an NFL stadium, sell it out, right? Apple TV, I love the platform that they've got. It's very hard for people who aren't already MLS sickos to find, right? Find ways to get the game in front of more eyeballs. I think that's the number one thing in MLS history.
And of course, more long throwings. Okay, Charles? Right.
I've been on this league long enough that I could probably come up with a 95 thesis that would roll down. I think I would follow on from John. As someone whose life has changed as a teenager, growing up in the DFW area, and going to a bunch of World Cup games at the Cotton Bowl in 1994, and having my adolescent brain blown by just the experiences and everything that this beautiful game of ours offers globally and the unifying force, I would love to see the mentality at all levels, from MLS to national teams to FIFA to anyone who holds a game that they charge admission to. Fill up the stadium first, and then focus on your margins after that, because every empty seat at every professional soccer game is an opportunity lost.
Yeah, Club World Cup.
And along those similar lines, like, I think MLS has made progress in centering supporter culture and the hardcores, the people that provide the energy. And I still think in a corporate structure, that's always going to be a push-pull. And I'm just hoping for a little more pulling, because, you know, when you go to that game, when you go to that stadium, there's one end that provides a certain energy, right? That's part of the show. Mm-hmm. And I think everybody who makes a decision, even if your job is to mind the balance sheet, like, that's what it's all about.
Right. All right, yeah. Especially here in Austin, right? Am I right? So what we do here in Austin? Yeah, I thought that would get a little bit more. That's okay. All right.
I'm tired.
How about some hot takes? What do we say? You ready for some hot takes? Okay. So hot take poetry slam, the way this works is each of you will give your initial hot take, and then you'll have a chance to qualify it 30 seconds to a minute-ish. You can go over if you feel like the crowd's with you. It's like a poetry slam, right? If you feel like the crowd is with you and you kind of ride that wave, you can keep going. If you feel like, oh, maybe this is time to wrap it up, wrap it up. Does anybody want to go first, or otherwise?
I'll go first.
You can go first, all right?
I realized after I told them what I was going to say that this is the worst possible crowd to give this take to. When all is said and done, in coaching returns in MLS history, Greg Berhalter will wind up being the most influential coach in MLS history.
There's some crowd engagement, all right.
You love it.
Can you unpack it, John?
Oh, I can.
All right.
We'll get to unpack
Okay, all right, fair
We're going to
enough,
get all hot takes out first.
Gotcha. I got distracted by imagining this in a real poetry slam, and I apologize. So does this mean I'm next?
Yes.
Okay, my hot take is that I don't care if you make the playoffs. I don't care about your 17,000-year-long playoff streak. This is specifically at the New York Red Bulls. If 60% of your league makes the postseason, I don't want to hear about it. Like, making the playoffs is not a barometer of success. It is a barometer of mediocrity. And if you finish higher up in the playoffs, that's fine. But as a collective soccer society in the United States, and this is true for USL too, this is not just an MLS problem, we have to stop glorifying the playoffs. It is not success. It is a consolation prize for teams that do not take themselves seriously. I don't want to hear about your playoff streak. I'm not impressed. We should talk about it in terms of standings. Let me know if you finish higher up the table. Not interested in you finishing.
Okay. Okay, I think we got your qualification. So, got carried away. That's awesome. Charles, let's get your hot take, and then we'll get John's justification, and then yours.
Austin SC versus the Columbus Crew should be a tentpole attraction annual derby. It's crazy that we're not doing that.
Okay. Let's see. So Joe, let's get your hot take again, and then your justification, and then Joe, also if you will have it.
I got too hot, sorry.
Is it really a hot take if you're pandering to the crowd, Joe?
You're just jealous.
So Greg Berhalter, why he's influential. Take yourself back to 2017. There was this big discourse about who's going to be the next U.S. men's national team manager. Is it going to be Jesse Marsch? Is it going to be Greg Berhalter? They represented two very different styles of soccer. And I think it's fair to say that in the last 8 years, Jesse Marsch's style has been more successful in MLS at taking teams from the low budget, right, and outperforming their budget, the resources in MLS. Like, energy drink soccer has been very successful. This season, that has changed. And I think this season is a culmination of a sort of long-term trend in MLS, where teams are building up more and more, they're taking on more and more risk in the build-up. And Greg Berhalter was an early adopter of that. He was an influencer of it at the national team. Two of the most successful coaches in the league right now, Mike Uveras and BJ Callahan, they trained under Greg Berhalter for years, right? They learned his style of soccer. The risks that they're taking that are making their team not just successful, but fun to watch, they all come from Greg Berhalter's style of soccer. And I think that's where MLS is headed next, and I think that we owe a lot to Greg.
Is there anybody else on the Greg Berhalter coaching?
Yeah, Nico wasn't invited to those hangs.
I see some wolf ball survivors in the crowd tonight.
Anyone that you remember who was under Berhalter for a while, who came to coach Austin for a while? No. Is he very popular?
So many good games in the first two-thirds of the field in that stadium, right? You guys have watched so much dominance in the attacking and defensive and middle thirds.
Real ones remember like 1 month of Austin FC year one where Josh Wolf was building from the back, and there was some fun stuff, and then we don't talk about the rest of it.
So Joe, did you have anything else on yours?
No, it's just that I didn't understand the format, and that's my bad.
Okay, you're good. No, it's multiple voices. It's a panoply of approaches. All is good. Charles, explain Austin FC versus Crew.
Well,
annual derby.
Humans have a natural, sometimes, especially in formal corporate environments, right? We're wary of conflict and we tend to avoid drama. We want to take the easy way, the way of less friction. But I think the sport in other places around the world is that emotions are what this is all about. And having spent a lot of time in both these cities and knowing way too much about the backstory and all the drama around it, I'm not saying that I don't have this assured, I'm not certain of this, but I have the distinct impression that MLS schedule makers are keeping these two organizations apart because there's a lot of bad blood and strong feelings on both sides, but I think it would be such a blast to just go lean into that spite. And I think these are the kind of stories that we need more of. This is the drama that takes the league to the next level. And maybe now that MLS's broadcasting nexus is in the WWE studio in Connecticut, maybe we'll slowly move in this direction.
We got Austin versus Crew in the MLS Next Pro Championship a couple years ago. It was fun, but there's a local media personality who's a bit of a provocateur, and he was asking one of the kids, do you know about the backstory? One of the Austin players is playing. He's like, no. Like, what backstory?
Yeah.
It's just like some 15-year-old contract. He was like 7 or 8 when that was all going down. Like just no idea, no clue that like Columbus actively hated us for the better part of a year.
All right. I would use the present tense.
It's ongoing.
Yeah. I guess they didn't downshift. Like we moved on, right?
Yeah. It was a win-win in the end.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. All right. Okay, so let's get to judging. So this is audience applause style. So first of all, got John Berhalter the greatest.
One vote, 2 votes. All right, that's it.
We got some golf applause back here from the North End guys. The Fighting Leslies. All right, and then Joe.
Yeah, playoffs. Everybody loves
playoffs. You're mediocre at best. Okay. And then Austin versus Crew. Charles, I think you have just eked it out and progressed into the next round. These were very, very good takes. Appreciate the quality of the takes. Appreciate the quality of your answers. Y'all do great work. Let's give it up for our panel. Good job.